Hello, welcome to our coal-fired power plant presentation. Um, so this is it. Let me go over the parts that I have programmed myself. So this is our main method here, which is the beginning of the program. Um, so I coded a number of things in this program, one of them being this perform query method, which interacts with our relational database. My intention for this method was for my other teammates to use it to interact with the database. Some did, some didn't. There's also a perform update method, which is similar to perform query. It just updates. I also programmed the GUI. So here is the method that prints the intro, and there's all sorts of submenus in the program. So I pretty much programmed the structure of the program. I split it into methods which prompt the user for input, and then methods which handle the user input. So pretty much built the skeleton of the program and left little blank methods for my teammates to fill. So here is this. The repeating pattern is a prompt method and then a handle user input method. So I did all of this going down everything that's take or handle. I programmed. Um, this is Dwayne's part. He'll show you after. And this is Khalil's part. This is my part. I did scenario one, which is the update methods for the database. So here they are. It's update plant, update boiler, update coal. And I also wrote this authenticate method, which just takes um, user information and makes sure they have the right permissions. So I will run the program here on the left and show the database updating on the right. So here it is. I'm going to go do updates because that is the part that I have programmed. Authentication is 1 and manager. So let's update plant. So we will update plant ID 101. We will rename it into excellent plant. Address, we can say Bellevue. Type is is nuclear, we'll say. Unit quantity 500. Manager ID we'll keep the same. Plant sulfur emitted, we'll say 0. And then it did not print an error message, which means that it updated the database. We can click update here, and here it has updated. Let's see. So now let's do the other two update methods. So again, no error message printed, which means that it has updated successfully. There you go. And then the last one is coal. And there he goes. And then we quit. And that's my part.
Okay, I'm going to demo scenario number 2 with the class project, which is to bring up and show the option 1 for plants, units, and boilers. I'm going to take us to the sub menu for that. Here's our sub menu for plants, units, and boilers. We're going to go to summary of reports, option number 1. Here we have 3 types of reports, and I'm going to walk through each one of those, starting with the very first one. Number 1, unit summary report. It should display the unit, present the units in name, total number of boilers, total energy produced, total sulfur emitted, and total production cost. And here we have full display of the unit names, boilers, energy, sulfur emitted, units, and production cost. This brings us back to our main menu. We then go back into plants, units, and boilers. 1. Summary of reports. And now we're going to demo the boilers use summary report, option 2. And here we have that results of that query. First, we have to choose the boilers. I want to bring note that the boilers that are identified here are dynamically created from the database. These are not hard-coded. So if we were to change one of the boiler and rerun this particular script or scenario, that change would be reflected, as well as if we were to add or subtract any number of boilers, that also would be reflected in the menu. So in essence, the names of the boilers are being retrieved from the database. So we're going to select one of the boilers, and what we'll get is a summary. First, we're prompted for the name of the boiler, and once we give the name, it'll give us the identification number, the name of the unit it belongs to, the name of plants it belongs to, the total amount of coal burned in a current year, total amount of sulfur dioxide emitted in a current year. So we'll select boiler number 3. And now we have the ID, the unit, the plant it belongs to. Notice that we have units. So everything there is as per spec in scenario number 2. And we're back to the main menu. So we need to go back into submenus. get back to reports. And I do realize we only have so much time, so we can't go into too many of the options here, but I'll just do another boiler one. And show you that we can select different boilers. Okay. Now we go back into plants, units, and boiler submenu, bringing up the last report, which is plant summary report. That option will present for each plant. We're going to present the plant's name, total number of units, total number of boilers, total energy produced, total sulfur dioxide emitted, and again, total production costs. Option 3. And there we have it. Plant summary in full detail. Again, we have units, we have all the plants, and all the information per scenario number 2. And that ends my presentation of scenario number 2. Thank you.
I'm Khalil, and I handled scenario 3 for the project's application. To do that, I basically made 3 functions, and each function focuses on the metric that you want displayed. So either the amount of coal burned, or the amount of energy produced, or the sulfur emissions of all the plants put together. Does that by using a sum query to basically sum up a column from one of the SQL tables, and then it also uses print statements to display that data in the appropriate units. And then compliance report, which is the function that is used by the main menu system when you enter 3 for statistics and data analysis. Prints out a menu system and takes user input, and then displays whichever report you want based on your based on the number that you input. So for 1, it prints the coal burn, the total amount of coal burned in kilograms. For 2, it prints the total amount of energy generated in kilowatt hours. For option 3, it prints the total amount of sulfur emissions. And for 4, it prints all of that data in one report. And basically the sum queries sent through SQL are to select the sum of the heat rate from the boiler table, the sum of the coal amount to be burned from the boiler contains coal table, and the sum of the sulfur emitted column from the plant table.